Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Mike Robles, Senior Director of Product Management with CenturyLink. We're here to talk today a little bit about how the network matters as we look at things changing across the unified communication space, across the cloud application space, and some things we think you should be thinking about as you think about deploying networks that support next generation cloud applications. So first, we want to just kind of quickly say, and this year has definitely shown us, is that the workforce, the workspace, it's changing, it's evolving. The velocity of business is changing. Where we work and how we work has definitely been changing for many years, but this year, for most of us, we saw a huge impact of how this changes. And with these changes of where we work, how fast we work, we see the workforce culture changing as well. As it comes to looking at application deployment, the comfort with next generation technologies, we see an increasing demand for cloud-based applications supporting unified communications and collaboration using SIP as an underlying infrastructure to support those technologies. Effective communication is vital for growth. So every business that we see out there is having a focus on how do we communicate in the 21st century in multiple different environments. It differentiates your customer experience, the ability to manage those communications, and it allows you to go to market with new products or new innovations faster. When we talk to customers lots of you, things that our customers tell us they are looking for is they want simplified and effective ways to communicate. They want ways that are platform-based experiences. By platform-based, it means that it supports both the traditional calling as well as next-generation UC&C capabilities and integration in many cases into other tools that customers are using. So this could be integration into a CRM or an ordering-based system, integration into those tools that allows your employees to do their job more effectively day to day. There is a shift in how these applications are deployed from traditional data center driven applications into cloud-based applications that are highly dependent upon the network and increasingly upon a diverse set of networks that will support these applications. Customers want simplified buying behavior, so making it easier to consume without the nickel and diming of all the every additional feature that may need to be added, and an ability to self-manage, self-help most of the most common things without needing to talk to someone or engage with a sales force. Common challenges that we see across the businesses and IT are prioritization. Oftentimes when we talk about communications, and I would say there's definitely a difference in pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic, but what you had was oftentimes viewed as good enough. Recently, the prioritization for UC&C applications has definitely percolated to the top. But as that percolates, it also means that you need to look at how do you have the right resources, the right expertise available to deploy those? How can you ensure that these applications and the data that transits these applications remain secure, both for your own business needs as well as for ensuring your customers' privacy and confidentiality? As networks are being deployed, more and more often we are seeing these networks being deployed in hybrid environments, meaning not just hybrid environments within the enterprise firewall or within the enterprise fence, but also having to push these applications out further across public resources to reach the employees and where they're working today. Oftentimes, some of these investments have unclear value propositions in that they are many times avoidance value propositions. Their value is only shown once something has happened versus being able to be clearly articulated ahead of time. So some of the things we think customers want to make sure they're doing is simplifying cloud communications, empowering better engagement, elevating experiences, and ensuring that their deployments support hybrid technologies. So some of the things we're going to say is robust underlying network is vital. And here in a few minutes, we'll talk a little bit more about how that network is vital. But be it you are connecting via a public internet connection, an existing MPLS or private VPN connection, or leveraging a hybrid of technologies, that network is going to be vital to ensuring that communications, particularly those communications that rely on real-time data, is robust and capable of supporting your solutions. Ensuring that UC&C solution includes ongoing support. So one thing for sure that we see is that unified communications and collaboration is not a static environment any longer. It's not the phone sitting on your desk where the features you have sitting on that phone are the same features you're going to have going forward. We see these solutions continuing to evolve, continuing to have new capabilities and new integrations needing to be put in place. And as you start creating these robust workplace experiences, security and reliability become top priorities, and then having that agility to implement these different the different needs. One of the things that we definitely think about when we talk about these applications is that the customer experience shouldn't exist in the organization of the future. And this is a quote from the Adobe CMO. It will be deeply entrenched in a company's product, processes, and culture that it represents the only way to do business. So this is one of the things we think is getting embraced in how CenturyLink deploys UC&C solutions and what customers expect within their unified communications and network solutions that enable these. From the market standpoint, customers are looking for unified experiences, integrated services versus silos. We'll talk a little more about that here in a few minutes. And partner-enabled platform offers, meaning that those platforms are key to enabling new capabilities from partners in the marketplace. Things that we see happening out there to transform and enable the network is definitely see simplification as a common theme. And the interesting thing about simplification is it may talk about using a common set of network solutions or unified communications applications to get there, but simplification is not always easy. And so I will definitely say what is simple is sometimes hard when we talk about this. Supporting platforms and journeys. So when we talk about the applications and the deployment of services, that they support your employee journeys and your customer journeys as they use your products and services. And then anticipate and empower next sets of capabilities. Let customers use analytics and data to understand what is happening inside their network and to empower them to make changes to support those changes that are occurring within their application space or their network space that support their needs. Today, these are some of the key things that we hear enterprises talk to us about when they are looking for solutions to support their needs. Efficiency. How easy is it to deploy? How efficiently and effectively can we leverage our capital and leverage our internal resources and assets for deployment of solutions? Security, ensuring that the applications and the data has a security as a forefront of the thought of how solutions are deployed. Agile networks, meaning that the network is not a static environment. In some of our historic environments, the network was always, you knew it was going to these locations. This was how you always had transport. As we've seen in the workplace evolve, the network becomes a little bit more of an amorphous entity that changes as your workplace changes, as your employees change where they are working from day to day, and how different teams are deploying solutions. And then underpinning all of this, cloud access is one of the key things that we see coming out to play when customers are deploying solutions. So the cloud is here. Everybody is moving some portion of their services or all of their services to the cloud. And this starts to introduce some complexity when you're trying to support these other areas of efficiency, security, and network agility. And we're going to spend a few minutes talking about that here. Slide. So when we're talking about customers deploying services into the cloud, and this could be any services, this is written from a CenturyLink standpoint, we see customers that are connecting to their cloud applications, connecting to their location through a variety of technologies. Customers could be connecting via internet connections, using just plain old internet to get to either their internal location or their cloud locations. They may use some form of MPLS to connect different locations and aggregate data between their data centers before it reaches the public internet. Or they may be using some form of private connectivity. We definitely see a shift in the market to customers using more SD-WAN type deployments or hybrid deployments, leveraging SD-WAN with public internet and VPN to reach their cloud applications. What this means is you're looking at designing this hybrid network is that you need to have an eye to how are your customers and what are the transport legs involved when your customers are reaching that cloud application. So the network matters part of this conversation is the public internet has created a huge possibility for customers to decrease costs or really diversify the deployments that are happening out there. But it's also created a need to understand how your internet traffic is routing at a much more fundamental level. The reason I'll call this out is when we were doing traditional network designs, you would oftentimes look for a one-way latency, network latency of about 25 milliseconds. The reason for that one-way 25 millisecond latency is to keep your end-to-end latency under about the 100 milliseconds of transport. And your VoIP stack, your UC stack adds 20 to 40 additional milliseconds in there. So if you have one-way latency of 25 milliseconds, two-way latency of 50 milliseconds, you add on that 40 milliseconds, you're quickly at right around 90 to 100 milliseconds of latency. That's just to keep your real-time communications working. In these complex deployments that you're seeing here articulated, customers who are deploying UC&C cloud applications behind any internet provider may have a hard time reaching those performance levels. Companies like CenturyLink and our peer competitors out there have solutions that can let you look at these complex deployments, understand how your application is performing, how your application performs. Am I going to get high quality video? Am I going to get high quality voice? And optimize the routing of your on-net locations or the location of your cloud application so that they can reach your global workforce in an effective way. It's not good enough just to trust any internet connection to get you to these cloud locations. One thing that we've seen when we've worked with some of our customers, particularly as they've needed to rapidly evolve and have new deployments, is that there are low-cost providers or consumer-grade providers that provide good speed connectivity for their employees working from home. But the way that they may be routing traffic may mean that they are aggregating traffic from multiple locations to a common location. In this one case that I'm thinking about here, it was from a customer that was based in the central United States, where they would have their traffic then aggregated, sent to Atlanta, and their cloud application for unified communications was actually residing in Los Angeles. So you ended up with a transit of going coast to coast to get all the way back to Los Angeles, and then back through that aggregation point in Atlanta just to get to their end customer, their end users that we're connecting via the public internet. These types of deployments are common, especially as you look at the plethora of ISPs out there. So you can work and design these yourselves, or you can work with a company like CenturyLink, others out there who have large internet backbones, have ways to get your end users very close to your cloud applications. There are some ways to reduce this by having VPNs can sometimes, depending on how your VPN is deployed, VPN tunnels may allow you to reduce that latency. There are also ways of creating direct connectivity into your network that may reduce that latency, so you're not reliant on public internet connections to create that end-to-end network latency, to manage that end-to-end network connectivity. As you look to deploying these services, you will have many opportunities of working with network service providers like CenturyLink, carrier, co-location providers, and network optimization solutions out there, including inside your SD-WAN stack, that can help you manage these deployments here. Some of the things CenturyLink is working on as we look at 2021 and the future is really evolving our voice and unified communication stacks to be that network-centric stack, looking at ensuring that network centricity is at the core of all of the applications we deploy, so that global customers, national customers, regional customers have the right kind of network and the right kind of applications available to support some of the items we just spoke about here. That we have simplicity as part of our core buying behavior and our core intent. That the services are globally consistent, meaning that regardless of whether you are a small company in the Northeast United States, a national company across the United States, or a global company, you have a similar experience for your users regardless of where they are, so it does not feel like disparate solutions. And taking a digital-first approach, particularly around managing your solutions, managing your end-to-end environments there. Key investments that we've made this year to support this is we have enterprise APIs being deployed that support that self-service, that integration into workflow within our applications. We are expanding the UC&C services, and we are continuing to develop high-quality digital experiences around our cloud communications platforms. When you look at CenturyLink and you're looking to implement a UC&C solution, please talk to us. We have a wide range of solutions, ranging from the voice, kind of key voice solutions, to full UC&C solutions, to contact center integrations, and of course we still have a large traditional voice services for where you may have the hybrid deployments of needing next generation SIP solutions and traditional voice capabilities. All of these solutions are wrapped by our managed services and IT consulting wrappers. This one's a brag card a little bit here, where we like to say that it's not just what we say, but we have consistently been recognized by some of the leading analysts and service providers and suppliers in the market as being leaders in the voice and UC&C space. So again, when you talk about CenturyLink, we are a global company. We have the capability of getting your network to touch just about anywhere in the globe. You have leading technology options coming from CenturyLink. And we designed those solutions to work not only with what's coming up and what the future is, but we also understand you have an embedded set of technology, so you need to coexist with that technology as you go along the time of evolving that. They are simplified and streamlined solutions. We have high-touch collaborative engagements. So you have anything from self-service engagements to if you need a high-touch consultant, we can help you with that as well. And then we have a constant focus on enhancing our customer experience and really trying to differentiate our business experience and our our global B2B experiences. So with that, I'm going to thank you for your time today. Please feel free to send any questions, commentary. If you have specific use cases you'd like to discuss, send those down in the chat, and we'd be happy to have a conversation.